Rare animals few humans have ever seen. Himalayan brown bear, somewhere above the tree line in the most remote corridors of the Hindu Kush and Karakoram. A population of brown bears lives in almost complete separation from human awareness. They are not a subspecies anyone debates much, because there is so little evidence to debate with. Camera trap photographs exist in single digits per year across the entire range. Local herders describe encounters from decades past with a certainty that suggests the animal is real and present. But field researchers can spend entire seasons in suitable habitat without a confirmed sighting. The Himalayan brown bear is not mythological. It is simply an animal that has chosen, or been forced into, a geography that human curiosity has not yet learned to reach. Saola. The Saola was discovered in 1992 in the Annamite Mountains along the Vietnam-Laos border, which is remarkable in itself. A large mammal unknown to science until 30 years ago. What makes it stranger is how little has changed since. No biologist has observed a living Saola in the wild with confirmed documentation. Camera traps have captured perhaps a handful of photographs across 3 decades. Local hunters have occasionally encountered them, and a few individuals were briefly held in captivity before dying. The Saola exists in the scientific record as a species defined almost entirely by its absence. Present enough to classify, rare enough that the question of whether a viable population remains is genuinely unresolved. Pangolin. The pangolin is the most trafficked mammal on Earth, yet the majority of people cannot picture one from memory. It is covered entirely in keratin scales that overlap like roof tiles. And when threatened, it rolls into a ball so dense and complete that large predators cannot pry it open. It has no teeth. Its tongue, anchored deep in its chest cavity, extends longer than its body to extract termites from sealed mounds. It is nocturnal, solitary, and silent. 8 species exist across Africa and Asia, and all 8 are threatened or critically endangered, disappearing from ranges they've occupied for millions of years into a trade most of the world doesn't follow closely enough to notice. Irrawaddy dolphin. The Irrawaddy dolphin has a face that doesn't resolve into anything familiar. Its forehead is a broad, rounded melon with no discernible beak. Its expression blank and almost featureless. Its movements slow and deliberate in ways that don't match the template most people carry for dolphins. It lives in coastal bays, estuaries, and 3 specific river systems in Asia, in populations so fragmented that some groups number in the dozens. The Mekong subpopulation is functionally isolated, unable to reach other groups, declining in ways that appear irreversible. It was known to fishermen in the region long before Western science cataloged it, but has remained invisible to the wider world for reasons that have more to do with geography than biology. Okapi. The Okapi spent so long as a colonial-era rumor described by forest peoples in the Congo Basin, dismissed by European naturalists as folklore. It looks like a piece of 2 different animals: the body and head of a dark chestnut horse, the striped hindquarters of a zebra, connected without apparent logic. It is, in fact, the only living relative of the giraffe. It inhabits dense, humid rainforest in the northeastern Democratic Republic of Congo, and it is so good at remaining unseen that population estimates remain largely guesswork. Rangers in Okapi Wildlife Reserve go months without a direct sighting. Vaquita. The vaquita is the smallest cetacean alive and almost certainly the rarest mammal on Earth. Its range is a single shallow lagoon in the northern Gulf of California, a stretch of water small enough to see across on a clear day. Fewer than 10 individuals are believed to remain. They are not hunted directly. They drown in gill nets set for a critically endangered fish called the toda, whose swim bladder is trafficked at prices that have made the collateral extinction of an entire porpoise species economically acceptable to those involved. The vaquita is shy, surfaces briefly, and leaves almost no trace. Most people working to save it have never seen one. Long-Beaked Echidna. 3 species of long-beaked echidna survive in the highlands of New Guinea, and collectively they are among the least observed mammals on the planet. They are nocturnal, solitary, slow-moving, and live at elevations that require days of travel to reach. Unlike their short-beaked Australian relatives, they have changed almost nothing in their basic form since the Mesozoic, carrying a body plan that predates most of the mammals now dominant on Earth. Camera trap data is sparse. Population numbers are estimates built on interviews with local hunters rather than direct surveys. One species, Sir David's long-beaked echidna, was considered possibly extinct until a camera trap image surfaced in 2023, the first confirmed evidence in 60 years. Bouvet Island fur seal. Bouvet Island is the most remote island on Earth, a frozen volcanic outcrop in the South Atlantic equidistant from nothing, claimed by Norway largely because no one else wanted it. A small population of fur seals uses its ice-fringed shores for breeding. In a location where the nearest humans are typically scientists on a research vessel passing through for logistical reasons unrelated to the seals. No permanent human habitation exists on or near the island. The seals live, breed, and die in conditions of almost absolute isolation, not protected by any particular conservation status, not threatened by proximity, simply present in a place the world has never had reason to visit and still doesn't. Pygmy Tarsier. The Pygmy Tarsier was declared extinct in the early 20th century, following the absence of confirmed sightings for decades. Then, in 2008, a research team placed mist nets in the cloud forests of Sulawesi and caught 3. The animal is roughly the size of a small fist, nocturnal, and lives exclusively in dense montane forest above 2,000 meters in a part of Indonesia that receives very little fieldwork attention. Its eyes are fixed in their sockets. It cannot move them, and so it rotates its head nearly 180 degrees to scan its environment, like a very small, warm-blooded owl. The 3 individuals captured in 2008 remain among the only physical evidence that the population persists at all. Spade-Toothed Whale. The spade-toothed whale is the rarest large animal on Earth. No living individual has ever been seen by a scientist. Everything known about the species comes from skeletal remains. A jaw fragment found in the 1870s, additional bones decades later, and 2 animals that stranded and died on a New Zealand beach in 2010, which were initially misidentified as common beaked whales before DNA analysis revealed what they were. The species presumably lives somewhere in deep temperate waters of the South Pacific, surfacing occasionally, diving for hours, entirely outside the frame of any human observation. It exists in verified biological fact and in near-total experiential absence, a large animal in a large ocean that has never been seen alive by anyone. Arakan forest turtle. By the late 20th century, the Arakan forest turtle was considered extinct, having disappeared from its only known habitat, a narrow strip of forest in western Myanmar, without a confirmed sighting for over a century. In 1994, live specimens appeared in food markets in Asia. Someone, somewhere in the Arakan hills, had been finding them.